Welcome back, gamers. Today we're bringing you the much anticipated Apex Legends Season 23 Legend Tier List. As always, this is specifically just for ranked, not necessarily competitive, not really considering pubs. We're not considering the ALGS. We're talking about you, if you're playing with your buddies, or if you're playing solo queue. We're going to tell you the best legends, and guess what? You probably already know, but we're going to explain why. We did our best to try to go through every single legend and get some clips, but just to be fair with you, some of these legends absolutely But seriously, we did add plenty of clips from the legends we're telling you that you should play. So that being said, these things are a little time consuming, so let's get right into the content. Here is a quick snapshot. Those of you that want to stick around and find out why your legend's where they're at, then you can do it. First up, we got the F tier. First one up is Caustic, and let me just tell you why. Caustic could potentially be really good. It's just there's so much better options for him right now. I don't think his barrels punish you enough for walking right through them, and to be fair with you, his ultimate is underpowered. He basically needs to go through a little bit of a rework to be a little less useless, but to be fair with you, I don't think anybody's really losing sleep not being able to play Caustic. Next up, we have Vantage. Let's just be honest, her sniper shots now mean nothing with the current meta being so support heavy. Basically, once you get shot, 13 domes are going over top of someone, they're getting fully healed. So let's just be honest, she's pretty much cooked at this point. I don't know if even if a rework helps her. Unless the healing is toned down significantly, there's likely no chance that she's going to come back and be played. Like I said, I don't think it's her kit that's the problem. The problem is there's just so much overhealing right now. Next in the F tier is going to be Crypto. There's not much else to say here other than it's going a little too fast and he's a little bit too slow. Everyone's fighting up close. His kit doesn't provide any of that. Even if you're hiding inside the zone, inside of the bubble, it doesn't benefit you to be playing Crypto. I wish there would be something where his ult would deactivate bubbles or shields. That may make him viable again, but right now he's just not going to be played. I'm sorry. Sorry, Crypto main, sorry. Last up, we have our buddy Mirage. So you already know there's not going to be a clip. We've played for 8 seasons and not one game has yet to be played with Mirage, and we never will. But I do want you to drop in the comments below your favorite legend to play this season. Not of all time, but your most enjoyable legend you like playing right now. We're going to pick in the comments next Sunday. One of you winners will get your own free skin from the shop of your choice. So it's real easy. Just drop a comment down there and tell me which legend you like playing. That's that easy. First one up in the E tier is going to be Wraith. While I still think Wraith is very, very good, and let me just be fair when I stop here, because Wraith seems like a very aggressive E pick. I think all the legends are extremely viable outside of the F tier right now, but Wraith just doesn't have the exact movement kit other legends do to pair so well with some of the support legends. I think an easy fix with Wraith could be reducing the wind-up time significantly or just almost making it instant. Maybe that would make her more viable to where she could get in and out very quickly to do damage, but I just don't see her being played that often, and I just don't see her as being a better pick over the other legends we've got in the remaining tiers. Next up, we have Ballistic. Unfortunately, no clip here because, like I said, just a legend I don't see having any significant kit to helping me either carry my teammates or win the game. I think the ramp up, speed up of the weapons, reloading, I think the unlimited ammo, yeah, that stuff's cool, but it's just not better than other legends when it comes to either movement or support or any type of survivability. So for that reasons, we're going to keep him in the E tier, and I don't imagine he's moving anytime soon. Up next, Rampart. Rampart's a really strong legend, but to be fair, I've always said this, she is just very good at killing really bad players. She got picked up pretty big last season only because of E-District having so many buildings, but I never find myself just frying really quality players with her, and for that reason, I think she's just mediocre. I think you can play her in the low ranks, but as the higher ranks you go, just like Vantage, people don't fall for the tricks as often as you would like them to. Last up in the E tier is going to be Alter and Fuse. Fuse also makes top a list of legends I just have not played that often. Just feels a little too slow for me, and specifically now with so many bubbles and shields, just don't see in his ult or his Q being that effective. Alter is another legend I'd like to see them play with a little bit better, making it to where her Q is almost instant. I think it's just a little bit too slow. You can almost see it happening. You can plan for it to happen. Her ultimate's pretty clunky, and with the amount of resets you can have right now, just resetting for her is unnecessary when you can use a bubble shield. And it's just no point in really playing her right now whatsoever. Valkyrie also joins the D tier. Still a very super strong legend. Really good at getting some information down. I think her Q still is not as finely tuned as some other legends are. It's a great clip, by the way. We literally just juked the entire squad. So I think she is still a very strong legend. Still makes sense to play her, but you just need to have some better legends with her. And like, look at these guys just running past me. Come on, this is good stuff. You guys know it's good stuff. All right. Next up in the D tier, we have Seer. This is one that stings just a little bit. I am going to put Bloodhound a little bit higher, but I think Seer's still a better legend right now just because of the ultimate in themselves. But I think the scan legends are no longer that beneficial whatsoever. By the time you've scanned someone, know where they are, even if they are low, they're going to be shielded and healed back up in 4 seconds. So don't think either one of the scan legends do a lot for this meta. Next up in the D tier, we have Octane. Super strong right now with the mobility. I still think he lacks what a bunch of other legends have in this meta right now. I think his Q is probably the worst design. He needs a actual overhaul. I just don't find him being as in tune with what the other legends have going on right now. To be fair, there's also a ton of issues with the double pad, so I just don't think that you can really go wrong playing him, but I just think he's still missing a little key elements to make his kit even better. But like I said, I think you can make him work. I do want to pause real quick before we get into the C tier, and thank you all so much. We have gained almost 3,000 subscribers in 1 year. Our goal is 4,000 by December. Every one of you supporting this channel, it means a ton. The YouTube Shorts streams have been phenomenal. The lives have been great. But I just want to thank all of you so much for supporting this channel. And anytime you need something out of me, just give me a shout-a-roo. I want to be pretty clear here. I think every legend above this is very, very strong with almost any specific team comp. So I just want to be very clear as we go up this list, outside of really the A tier, these legends are all extremely viable. The first one up, we have Ashe. I played Ashe a ton last season in solo queue, was able to hit Masters, and she felt really, really good with teams that had some coordination. Like I said, though, with the new current, everyone's got a bubble and shield. It may be harder if her Ashe Q won't go through, but I still think you can make big, big plays in the open and pour to them. I'll be honest, if you guys ever join the live stream, we are playing Mad Maggie a ton. I think she is incredibly strong, and to be fair with you, she's just the most, in my opinion, enjoyable legend to play. If you're really good with shotguns, you're able to get down her Q and her ultimate. I think she can make some really big plays. And to be fair, if there's anybody that can impact the bubble or the shield, it's going to be her drill. So always make sure you take the second perk, which is the longer depth, and make sure you utilize that as much as possible with teams trying to take cover from a distance. To be fair, let's just fix Maggie and her ball. Wrecking Ball breaks all bubble shields. Okay, yeah, maybe do that. But yeah, great legend to pick. Top notch. Next up, we got Bloodhound. This one's tough for me because this was my favorite legend when I first started playing the game. Legend I felt really, really good and confident about. But right now, he's just bad across the board. Like I said, the scans don't do much. His speed boost is basically going to be every other good Legends mobility. I just don't see him being a top pick. Maybe if the games were a little bit slower and you needed to know where people were, but there's so much intel on where people are now that it's just not that useful. I wish he was in a better place. Maybe they do something down the road and he gets a little bit of a buff, but right now he's just not going to be a top pick for me. Last up in the C tier, we have Loba. Every support legend is really, really strong right now, and if you find yourself or teammates are struggling, that you're not very good with all the guns, Loba's always going to be one of the safest picks because you're allowing your team to get the attachments, the guns that they need to win. I think she may be one of the most well-balanced legends of all, and so she's really playable and pickable at any single rank at any single time. And on top of that, her kit is the easiest, let's just be honest, to learn of all of the legends. So let's keep her as a safe pick. First up in the B tier, we have Catalyst. I think she's going to be played in ALGS a whole lot, but I still think a very good quality legend to pick up for solo queue and or rank queue. Her defensive kit really allows you to dictate the pace at which you take a team fight. It seems like this season you're going to see either one of two comps, which is going to be really that W key aggressive style comp, or B, a survivability kind of lockdown comp. And she makes sense on playing on either of those teams to help bring that mobility to a team comp. Next up in the B tier, we have Gibby. I know some of you are thinking, why is he not in the S tier? Well, listen, we've seen Gibby here before in some of these meta changes where he seems beneficial, but guess what? It's not going to last. When it comes down to it, the two support legends that you want the most that are S tier is going to be Lifeline and Newcastle, and to be honest with you, he's the only of the three that can instant res. Mark my word that his pick rate will slow down eventually because it will be more beneficial to put someone defensive or aggressive in a team comp that is about the shotgun bubble fighting. Mark my words, just mark my words. Next up in the B tier, Bangalore. I don't think this legend has had to move for multiple seasons now. Just the overall great, balanced, aggressive, and defensive legend of all time. Don't think there's a whole lot to say about her kit other than it's used for people that want to play both play styles and know that they want to win the game. Smoke to provide cover, ultimate to either close the gap or get distance. So it feels like she really plays to both sides of whatever type of kit and play style you have for season 23. Last and final in the B tier, Horizon. A little bit of mobility, a little bit of aggressive damage. As always, her kit's not changed anything whatsoever in the past couple of seasons. I don't think they've even messed with her perks too much. Similar to Bangalore, she's just playable in almost any team comp that you need. It is a strange time for her. We went really through the movement meta last season to what is now the support meta this season. I'm not quite sure where she fits in. Her kit just makes playing the game really enjoyable. Just really rewarding to hit a very huge ult with 17 arc stars, okay? First up in the A tier, Rev. His ult took a little bit of a nerf this past season, but his mobility is still just downright one of the best in the game right now. If mid-split we end up seeing a nerf to having 2 support legends on a team, you could see Rev coming back as that second real aggressive / support, first in, first out kind of legend. It still is a pretty heavily shotgun meta, so you being up close range and getting a drop to get the refresh on the shield is going to be good enough to keep this legend alive. Also just really, really fun to play. The next legend up, Pathfinder. I will say that I have played Pathfinder the majority of this season and last as my main legend, mostly because one of my teammates usually will take a support legend they feel more comfortable with, and I feel more comfortable with the aggressive movement legend. He's just really strong if you take the double support and you need a little bit better mobility to get your team into the zone. Having his zipline is just great for that reason alone. So I think he's always going to be picked as a third to double support if you're looking to make a comp work, but super fun to play, and honestly, he gets you out of some pretty sticky situations. Last in the A tier is going to be Watson, one of the best control legends in my opinion during the current meta. Obviously, this clip here alone will show you why it's such a big deal to have a Watson with teams all running Gibby currently, because I'm going to stand up here and I'm going to eat every one of these. You know why? Because I can, okay? I've never been really good with placing Watson's fences. If I felt a little bit more comfortable, I would probably put this legend into my rotation as a support, kind of secondary support for my team. But those of you that play Watson at a high level, this should be your season to really take advantage of her playstyle. First up in S tier is going to be Conduit.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. All right. Let me tell you something.
We already know Conduit is pretty strong, but I think currently we have people that are playing Gibby that will eventually rotate out of Gibby because having 2 bubbles is a little bit unnecessary. And for Conduit, you end up getting the extra shield. Pair that with lifelines, drone, we're putting a really, really strong kind of survivability comp together here. On top of that, just straight shield healing. You also have the ultimate being so strong. I wish I could show you this whole game. I recorded this clip right before I started this video. My ability to keep my teammates alive throughout this entire game was pretty significant, and it wasn't needed to have a lifeline or a Newcastle, and to be fair, a pretty easy legend just to play. So I think with the fall of Gibby, we'll see a big uptick in people playing Conduit again, but no one ever thought Conduit was weak. It's just people think Gibby's better right now. Now, we didn't discuss this when we were talking about Conduit, but all of these support legends currently can take 1 shield cell and get 2. They heal quicker, all that stuff being a reason to pick them. It's no coincidence that Lifeline also pops up on the S tier. So with the rework, having the drone attached to someone is a pretty big deal. The ult, great. Right here, you can see that we block the horizon ult completely with it. And to be fair, she does seem a little bit more enjoyable to play now versus just dropping a drone and just moving on. And she just pairs very, very well with all the rest of the classes in the game. And last up, we have Newcastle. We don't need to explain why he's so strong. He's moving so fast while now rezzing people. He may be a little bit overpowered at this point. I think we will see him have some slight nerf before the end of the complete season, but a very strong legend right now. Very, I would say, challenging to play if you can master him, which, by the way, we have a video on. If you're able to master Newcastle, you can be one of the best support legends, and keeping your team alive is so important in this current season. That brings us to the end. I'll just tell you, in my opinion, this season feels really fresh, really enjoyable. I know it'll still be hard to solo queue a bit because there's going to be a whole lot more synergy with people that have been playing together for a while, but it does still make a more enjoyable, fun meta for me. I appreciate you all taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully you've learned something. I would have greatly appreciate if you would drop a like and a comment of what your favorite legend is this season. Don't forget, we're going to give away a free skin if we choose you. So listen, we're going to see you next week. We're pretty excited about it. And you can stop in anytime you want. Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday. We'll be live on the YouTube main channel, the Shorts feed, also on Twitch. So stop in, say hello. Let's get some games together, okay?